Hi, and welcome to CBS.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Dennis.
I'm fine, thank you, Kevin. Thanks for dialing us up tonight.
You know,
Hi.
how you doing?
How you doing, man?
The book is great, by the way, Dennis.
Oh, thanks.
It's killer. And, well, I guess my question is do you feel you're in a real good place right now with the HBO show? Do you think that, like, you've hit a niche with this? I mean, you've got a good, good show going, a good audience, and do you feel that you've reached, I don't know, not a plateau, but do you feel like you've hit your mark? You're where you want to be?
You know what, man? In show business, I found out that a niche is a niche until the nanosecond it becomes a cavity. And that can happen in the middle of a show sometimes. So I've got a niche till, put it this way, I've learned some sort of monkey trick that allows me to make a living, and at some point they tire of it. And if you don't learn a new trick, Bobby Barancini gives you your walking papers.
Let me ask you something, though, because he raises an interesting point. At some point in the recent past, you came to a decision about your life and where you fit into this whole thing we call the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Because you had enormous success on Saturday Night Live. You leaped for a time into the arena of 5-night-a-week episodic late-night television. And you seem to have matured to a point where you say to yourself, if it's to be HBO at 11:30 on Friday night for the cult audience that digs my act and digs my ass, so be it. I will accept that and be happy with it. Somewhere you grew up.
Well, I'm even more pragmatic about that. I don't say if it is to be. I say, thank God
that it is.
That
okay.
somebody gave me a gig. I mean, it is an amazing business in that you're completely over-rewarded when you're in the groove, and when you're out of the groove, man, you could be on fire and they wouldn't put you out. I mean, nobody wants to know. You look for help and there are roadrunner clouds heading off into the distance, man. So I look at show business as a brutal little gladiator camp. It's fun. You meet interesting people. I don't take it seriously for a second, and I am not saying I don't take it seriously for a second to score more points and become bigger. I really don't. I moved out of L.A. I have a couple boys and a wife I adore. My two sons are 2 and 5 now, and I make a good buck, and I put it away. I'm wise with it, and if they take it tomorrow, I'm really not trying to be Pollyanna. I got a big roll of the dice. I caught a massive wave into the shore. You know what I mean? I never thought this would happen to me. It really is,
I understand what you mean.
It blows your mind. It really boggles your mind.
It boggles mine. Every day it boggles mine.
I remember getting out of college and sitting there in this real estate seminar, and this guy telling me about how hard we'd have to work, and sitting in a bad hotel like a Hyatt, like some... like an S seminar. We weren't allowed to go whiz. I had to listen to this guy drone on about real estate for 5 hours.
For me, it was selling insurance.
Yeah, and then he gets to the end. He's there. Now, you don't get anything except your commissions, and I'm thinking, I'm in hell. I don't even know what I'm going to do for a living here. I'm a nutcase. Next thing you know, I'm at an all-gay florist star. I'm the delivery man. I'm coming in the morning, 8 a.m. They're already doing production numbers from Hell's a Poppin'. I'm this far away from, I'm thinking, what?
And thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
It's a sleeper!
You brought so much to our show. Thank you. The last time you couldn't wait to get out the F word. I mean,
And then I worked as an ice cream scoop. I remember I was like 5
I don't want to go there. Is what you were almost into?
I was 5 years out of high school. I remember I'm working as an ice cream scoop with these 16-year-old kids. They're talking about getting their license. I got a paper hat on. I'm thinking... The prettiest girl in my high school comes in and orders a cone off me. I'm standing there thinking, yeah, I'll get laid on this planet. So I just thank God I could tell a joke, because I don't know what the hell I'd be doing.
Kevin, I'm glad you called. Thank you. Thank you.
Dennis,
Thank you for pressing the start button.
Yeah, not at all. My pleasure. Dennis, let me just say, ever since Weekend Update, it's been going further and further.
Hold it. Weekend Update.
Fishing for that.
Weekend Update is the phrase, so where you get the T-shirt tonight, the sweatshirt.
Oh, that's great news. I was playing for that.
I know, man. I could see he was going to do my whole life.
Could you smell that?
And your canceled Chicago Tribune talk show. Yeah. Anything, just looking for that freebie. That's all right, man.
Except I wouldn't make your canceled show.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just teasing. But he was going to keep going. He's got my bio there. And then I see you. What if the code word would have been the thing I said about the florist store?
I wouldn't have the show anymore. I'd eat the big one right here with you, you know.
Well, my next guest was going to be Never Talk to Strangers, but I figured I'd leave that alone.
Little piece of magic I did with Becky DeMornay.
Becky
I always play this eunuch who croaks it in these movies.
Anyway, Kevin, I'm glad you called and added enlightenment and laughter to our show.
My pleasure, man.
Good night,
Cavers.
All right, put him on hold and get his address.
All right.
Let me ask you, when did the rants begin?
Well, you know, I used to do these HBO specials, and I'd always, I'd try to do, like, mostly just non sequiturs or throwaway lines or unrelated jokes, and I'd always try to build, like, a 5 or 10 minute segment that had a little more catharsis to it, and I noticed people weren't almost laughing as much as they'd be nodding and, you know, like sort of agreement and then applauding at the end of it, and I saw that catharsis that was sort of happening there, and I thought, you know, there's a lot of unarticulated rage in this culture.
There's a fine line, though, between what you call the rant, which is very enjoyable to watch, and haranguing people. You know, people, you know what I'm saying? People don't want to be harangued.
But, you know, I cross that line, too, sometimes.
We all
You know,
do.
you miss it sometimes, and you think, but, you know, at the end of the day, I try to remember my prime directive as a comedian is to make people laugh, and if I don't do that, I'm going to end up on St. Mark's Place reading my court records on stage somewhere, and nobody's going to give a damn about me, you know?
Well, there's always the flower shop, isn't there? Do you have any favorite rants that are special?
No.
I'll tell you, I have one of yours that was a favorite of mine.
What was
the
that?
night that you talked to all the people out there in groups, homosexuals, Polish people, black people, Catholics, white men, women, saying, you know, in each of your groups there is something that is funny and we are allowed to tell jokes about it.
Yeah, right. I think I should be able to, you know, occasionally tell a Polish joke and not have the entire country descend on my house to unscrew the light bulbs.
We will continue with Dennis Miller for as long as we're allowed to. We'll be right back after these messages.